All right, what's up, guys? So a couple of you have asked what are my favorite books, and I'm going to break down a few different videos, and this video is going to be books on spirituality. I don't consider myself a very spiritual person, mainly because I think there's so many different connotations tied to that word, and then when I think of the word spiritual, I think of a certain type of person, or religion, or things like that, where, I just believe in being the best version of myself. I don't want to put a title on that. I just believe in bettering myself, bettering the person I am, being the absolute best version of myself by furthering and progressing myself on a day-to-day basis. So, I do a lot of reading. I try to read about a book a week, which works out to almost 50 books a year, 52 books a year if I was doing that much, but typically it's about 40 to 45, what I've been doing for the last few years. So I typically, I read a lot of science-based books and things like that, but a lot of what I also read is self-development, self-improvement, and things like that. Now, one thing I've realized, a lot of books are overlapping info, so you learn, some books talk about one subject and, another book talks about the exact same thing, but they have different titles, so there's only so much to talk about. So what I've realized is actually learning from people that have the wisdom or, have been in the situation that you want to be in life, or, or somewhere where you want to get to, and taking their perspective, because everything is perspective in life. If you're learning from me, it's my perspective. I'm not necessarily right or wrong. This is just my path. This is just what I do. So you take what I've done, and you can learn certain things from it, and do that with 1,000 different people. Learn from people that are the absolute best at what they do, and you'll become the best at what you do. So one book I recently picked up, which I actually spoke to the author, she's really cool, is Amy Morin, and that's her name, and the title is 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. I don't need a book to tell me how to live my life. I really don't. I think people that are searching for a book to tell them how to live their lives, they're on the wrong path. I think a book should give you some sort of idea. I think a book should give you, ideas on how to live, how to become better, or even just to reinstill things, that we naturally have within us, things that are innate. I think we're all good people deep down. I think we're all capable of the same things, but I think we forget things. So books should light up your mind and light the fire under your ass to remind you of what you are, what you can become, and the things that we should already know. 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do, it talks a lot about, feeling sorry for yourself, giving your power to other people, just becoming the best version of yourself by being a strong person. So I think there were a lot of cool things in that book that were helpful. Leaders Eat Last by Snek. He's a great author. He's actually even a better speaker. I really like this book. It's a lot about leadership, how to become the best leader to the people around you, and he uses a lot of real world examples from big companies and corporations and why they fail and why they fuck up and why certain ones succeed and what they do differently. And, it all ties back to being a good leader, practicing what you preach. We all know that cliche statement. That's very true, but it goes deeper into becoming a leader and, why certain people have leadership skills within them and others, just because you're a boss, it doesn't mean you're a leader. Just because you have the title of a boss or a manager or, a chairman doesn't mean you're necessarily a leader. A leader are the qualities that we possess, not the title or the role that we carry. Mastery by Greene. This one is excellent. I really liked it. It's kind of a more in-depth read. It's not such an easy read if you're doing cardio or something like that. You kind of want to focus a bit more, I find, to pick up a lot more useful tips. But it talks a lot about, how to master your craft, why you should chase and pursue things in life that you are really passionate about rather than pursuing things like money, rather than pursuing things that are not really your passion from deep down and don't fuel your fire deep down. So Mastery by Greene. Excellent book. I got this one from a client, The Power of the Heart, when she actually gave it to me, we both laughed because, she said, just read it, and I laughed and I said, come on, I don't need it. On the front of the book, I think it says something about being spiritual. But you know what? I actually read the book, it was an easy read. It was just little passages and it reminded me of, why it's important to listen to yourself, listen to your heart, be true to yourself, and listen to things deep down you know, that your body and your gut never lie about, you know, and that's the problem. I think a lot of people don't listen to their gut or their heart when they're making decisions or when, you know, they're trying to figure themselves out in life. But listening to your gut, listening to your heart is always the way to go. Your body never lies to you, and feelings are feelings, you know. So sometimes we don't know the answer, we don't know why, we just have a gut feeling, and that gut feeling is usually right. Talks a lot about that in the book. The Way of a Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. You know, he was a wrestler. He was a very athletic, very alpha type of male. And he talks about, you know, how to become more peaceful, how to become a better man or woman via just, you know, bettering yourself and not, you know, being, you know, the definition, I think, what I've interpreted from it is not being what people think a warrior really is. A warrior is actually peaceful, calm, and has certain traits that make them a man or a woman. Lastly, I think this one, The Way of the Superior Man, was a great book. Again, talks a lot about following your heart, listening to yourself, believing in yourself, making decisions that are going to better yourself, which will better people around you. So sometimes you have to be a bit selfish, you know, and how to become, and on the road to becoming a better person, a better woman, or a better man. In this book, it's mainly about men, but by doing so, by, you know, by making decisions that are going to better you and listening to your heart again and being true to your path is what's going to make you a better man. So a lot of these books, like I said, they're overlapping info. A lot of it comes from within, you know, and that's what a lot of great philosophers and authors have realized is that, you know, listening to yourself is the way to go in life, you know, and that's, I think people, you know, they want to read books and they want to, you know, watch videos of people because they want to learn what the fucking secret is of life. And the secret of life is there is no secret. The secret really is to listen to yourself. If you know deep down that you want something, you do that something, you know? Don't look to ask for someone's advice because they are going to give you a better answer. Nobody knows you better than you know you. Nobody knows how you feel better than you know how you feel. So always search within. Always listen to yourself. I know that if I want to accomplish something, or I have a passion or a dream, and I believe in myself and that passion, that dream, a million people could tell me it's stupid, but as long as I know that it's what I want, I'm authentic, I'm true to it, I'm going to fucking do it. And, you know, that's how you should live your lives, guys. And as soon as I started living my life like that, you know, not being dictated by others, not copying others, being authentic and true, that's when I started to see the most success and the most happiness in my life. All right, guys, comment below. Tell me what else you want to see. Make sure you share my video, like the video. Peace.